right? So basically, your answer to the cost of living crisis is to go back to the medieval times. Who who? I mean, how many people have enough space in a freezer to put half a beast?
Cost of living Australia. Let's talk about it.
The cost of living is actually fucked. She's $8.50, and that's on special. $10 for a block of cheese. What is that? That's for 30 cans of Coke. Are you serious? How do you live these days?
Okay, so there's a parliamentary video about the cost of living at the moment, specifically groceries. So let's have a look at that and unpack it a little bit.
Coles used to run ads about how you could feed a family of 4 for under $10. Let's have a look at what you can buy for $10 at Coles these days. A single bag of Coles brand grated cheese, a box of Nutri-Grain, 2 packets of chips, or a jar of Nutella and St. Helga's bread. I'm not sure my kids would be too happy with a bowl of grated cheese for dinner. Coles and Woolies have increased their prices by about 10% in the last 12 months, while giving themselves record profits. $1.1 billion for Coles this year and $1.6 billion for Woolies. While everyone else is struggling, Coles and Woolworths are making more money. The weekly trip to the shops has become a source of anxiety. Picking up an item and then putting it back on the shelf. Going in to pick up a few things, but coming out having spent $40. Putting off going to the supermarket until just before it closes in the hope that there'll be something on the bargain shelf. It shouldn't be like this in this country. Coles and Woolies own 2/3 of the supermarket sector nationally. In some parts of Australia, they own 90% of it. This is a competition crisis as much as it is a cost of living crisis. The two supermarkets can push prices up because they know that we have to shop with them. Speaker, we need more independent grocers in Australia again. We need to address this duopoly. We should give the ACCC greater powers to crack down on price gouging in the supermarket sector. And if the supermarkets won't keep their prices down after that, we should explore the penalties and controls that other countries have put in place.
All right, seems we've got a serious problem. Now, that video was filmed in 2023. So since then, there's been some huge hikes up of prices in the supermarkets. And you'll probably agree that cheese is probably more like $11 or $12 now. So it's got even worse. And on top of that, with everything else. But anyway, let's have a look at, see what you can get in Coles now for $10.
Feeds a family of 4, all for under $10. All you need is one of these and one of these. Feed your family one of my recipes for under $10 at Coles.
So we went to Coles and we used the old feed your family of 4 for $10 ad campaign. And we took the spaghetti bolognese that was involved in that, and we came to a total price of $20.18. So since that last ad, which was 2017, the price has doubled. So for the bare basics, home brand, the cheapest things that you can possibly get, $20.18. So that is insane. So for a family of 4 over a week, feeding them off of the absolute cheapest things that you can possibly get, that is $140 a week.
Just for one meal.
And that is one bare basic meal.
one meal. So yeah, back in the day, you could do it for $70. Now you can't. It's double that. So the cost of living is real. As much as people keep saying, "Oh, we're not going through a cost of living crisis," it's definitely there. It's you can see it.
It's there. You can.
We all notice it. All of us, no matter what your income is.
Yeah. So the net profit of Coles and Woolworths.
No, it's just Coles.
Oh, just Coles. So
Coles net profit first.
So the net profit for Coles for this year is $1.1 billion. They're proud to announce that it was $1.1 billion. That is insane. So while the rest of us are struggling and living on the breadline, they are out there announcing that a $1.1 billion profit. They're price gouging everyone else. They're absolutely pushing the small family-owned businesses out of the game so that they can come in and charge what they like. Meanwhile, the rest of us can't even afford to get a block of cheese, or a carton of eggs.
Ton of eggs, yeah. So we got to learn from that, and I think using places like Aldi is definitely going to benefit your family more. And that's probably a tip that I can give you is we go to Aldi, we go to Coles, we go to Woolworths, we go to the farmers markets and support your local
Yeah,
farmers markets if you can.
I think other than, well, really, Aldi and IGA aren't exactly the cheapest, but at least they're independent. Nobody's pushing back. Nobody is out there competing with these major companies to bring the prices down.
So what do we do, guys? Like, let us know in the comments, like, what do we do? What is the solution to this? So we're going to get more into this anyway later on in the video. So
But anyway, let's have a look and see what it's like to go out to a cafe and treat yourself, which you should be able to do because you don't live to work, you work to live. So you should be able to treat yourself every now and then.
Are you fucking serious? I just went to a cafe this morning in Melbourne, Australia, and I paid $45 for 2 eggs on toast and avocado on the side. And earlier this year, I was in Bali and it was like $10 to $15 for the same thing. Like, how are you even meant to live right now with the rising cost of living and inflation in Australia and work a normal job where you're earning $40,000 to $100,000 a year? Like, money just isn't the same anymore. $40,000 to $100,000 a year on a salary or working on an hourly rate, it just isn't the same as what it was 5 years ago. The inflation is crazy right now and things are just way more expensive than what they should be. It's just like ridiculous. I know there's so many people living paycheck to paycheck. They got smashed by the pandemic. So many people unemployed because they didn't want to take the jab. And just people that are barely have any money right now, more than whatever I've seen before. It's just ridiculous. Things shouldn't cost this much money.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
don't eat out. Look, stop giving them your money. Like, if it's going to cost that much, is it really worth it?
But again, you should be able to treat yourself. You can't not treat yourself. You've got to be able to go out and enjoy yourself a little bit. You can't just, I mean, all of the older generations say that they had to sacrifice and whatnot, but we give up at least 8 to 10 to 12 to 14 hours, some of us, every single day, 5, 6, some of us even 7 days a week, non-stop. We should be able to go out and treat ourselves.
Yeah. So one user on that video commented, so Aztec commented, $2 loaf of bread, $4.99 dozen eggs, Aldi, $2 avocado Woolies, all up $9. Don't go to cafe, do it yourself at home. I agree with him.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think he's got a fair point. Like, you're complaining about spending $40 on a basic breakfast or lunch, but you could do it a lot cheaper at home.
at the end of the day, the cafe owners, they're struggling as well.
Yeah.
And they're only putting the prices on top of what they're already paying. And we've already established that it's not cheap for any groceries, any product anymore. So they're only doing what they got to do to survive.
Yeah, it's fair. So yeah, let's get into salaries, housing. Let's talk about that because, like, the groceries are one thing, but the next problem we've got in Australia is what you're earning versus what you're paying to live in under a roof, basically.
It's the hardest it's ever been for a 30-year-old in Australia, in Australia's history. It is true 30-year-olds are going to be less well off than their parents are. That's a fact. It's a fact that when I was 30, the house cost me 3 times my salary. Now, 8 times plus for a 30-year-old is what it's going to cost you to get into the housing market. It's true that HEX has doubled in the last 15 years, right? Doubled from a $15,000 bill to a $30,000 bill. It's true that a baby boomer paid half the tax that a 30-year-old pays now when they were 30 years of age. So the reality is it is extremely difficult to be a 30-year-old in Australia right now.
Yeah, so this is about a year old, this interview. Right now for the median house price, we're looking at least 10 times the average salary income.
Crazy.
It's just insane. It is insane.
So there's 2 comments that we want to show you. So ZYZZ,
Ziz.
he or she commented, everyone says it's difficult, but no one's helping us.
Yeah, that's
Pretty fair.
That's
That's how it
that's pretty fair.
feels.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we're all in a hole that we can't get out of.
Yeah, like, where is the help? Like, they talk about all these grants and, first home buyers grants and reduced tax and all this, but you don't see it. You're not feeling it. Your pockets are still pretty low. So I get why that person feels that way. Like, no one's helping us. We're just left out there to, just deal with it.
We are a generation that's coming through that is at this point, it's concerning to think that it might be the most homeless people in this generation ever, as in not being able to get to the Australian dream of owning a house and being able to just know that you've got a home forever.
Absolutely. There's a second comment on this interview, which was Hannah. Once you get your house, it's not smooth sailing. We are struggling to keep our homes, which never happened to older people. So I think what Hannah's talking about there is basically you get your house, but because the interest rates are so high and also the cost of living outside of your house is so high, that they're struggling to actually pay that mortgage now from when they probably first got
Yeah, I
that.
think that's a pretty interesting one because obviously Hannah has got a house and she's seeing the struggle from a different point of view as someone with the rising interest rates. She's struggling to pay her mortgage and she's
trying to keep hold.
she still lives on the breadline, even though she has reached what is the Australian dream. And she doesn't know if she can keep hold of it. And to be honest, I feel for her.
Let's have a look at someone else's point of view that's struggling.
How the fuck are you supposed to survive on $30 an hour? I just got paid and I'm at a little over 1K for the 6 days work that I did this week. After all my expenses, I'm left with about $200 a week, basically living paycheck to paycheck. Because the cost of living in Australia is fucked. I moved over here from New Zealand because I thought it was going to be better. I thought I'd get paid more. I thought the cost of living would be cheaper, but was I fucking wrong? The whole point I'm trying to make is how the fuck am I supposed to be able to save enough for my first home when you have houses like this going for $1 million fucking dollars? Let's say I cut back on some of my expenses and I was able to save maybe $300 a week. 300 times 52 weeks in a year, that's 15K. So to get a 20% deposit for this $1 million house, that'll take me, 15 years? So I'll be fucking 41 by the time that I'm able to put a deposit down for this house.
All right. So I feel for this guy because he's obviously a hard worker and he's doing what he's got to do to survive and he's struggling. And he's one of the backbone of this society. They're just hard working.
6 days a week. He's working 6 days a week for $1,000, which
Yeah, it's just that's a joke.
Yeah,
He's
that- it's not livable.
So he's just a hard working dude struggling to get by.
But there was a comment on this video which I thought was disgusting, to be honest. It was from Dor Green. A grown man earning $30 per hour has failed himself and his family. I think that is...
Yeah, so I hate that. I don't think anyone should ever be put down. If they're working and they're earning their money and they're putting in the hard work and the graft to get by, no matter what they earn, they've earned that money and they've not failed anyone. In fact, he's failed people by going on there and commenting that. That's a disgusting, disgraceful human being.
Yeah, not on. But another user commented, and Conservation Cowgirl went to uni for 4 years to get a job in the field I studied for, $26 an hour, under $1,000 a week, covers car repayment, rent, and $60 a week for food plus fuel. I'm left with $40 a week. I had my tubes tied because I knew I wouldn't be able to support my own children if I had them, and still left with uni debt. A house just won't be on the cards. I even moved from Sydney to North Queensland because it's cheaper, but prices are going up quick.
That's actually quite saddening to hear.
That's heartbreaking. Like, to hear, like, we don't know how old this person is, but to say that they've gone and got their tubes tied, so they're preventing themselves from having a family just so they can survive after going to uni, studying for years. Like,
Going back to that first comment, that the only thing that has failed here is the Australian economy. That's a failure. The state that we're living in now, everybody's struggling no matter what.
Going on salaries, like obviously they're saying $30 an hour, she's saying $26 an hour. Let's see.
Let's have a look at what $100,000 salary, which once upon a time was the pinnacle.
dream.
It was a dream to have that sort of salary. Let's have a look and see what that's like today.
Dollars used to be the big leagues. Now, according to the government, it's the average.
$100,000, the new average. A little bit hard to believe, but let's actually break down a $100,000 salary and how much it gets you in Australia. So let's input this into the pay calculator with a $100,000 income. Our overall tax on this income will be around $25,000, which leaves us a net income of $75,000 a year. Now, this is a breakdown on the averages on how much it costs to live in Australia. And some of them I don't really agree with. If you're living somewhere like Sydney or Melbourne, your rent is going to be bigger than $31,000 a year. And this is how much it costs just to purely live in Australia. And bearing in mind, it's not including if you've got dependents or kids, it's not including school fees, it's not including going out, doing activities, going shopping, or even investing. It costs you $66,000 a year, almost 88% of that net income. And you know what the scariest thing about this is? People said $100,000 used to be the benchmark of all incomes. But now you could almost class it as a below average income. The benchmark for an adequate income has now increased to $250,000. And it's going to keep increasing if the cost of living doesn't get controlled.
So that's quite disheartening to hear, that what was once a dream income for a lot of people to be on a six-figure income is now enough to get you by on bare basics pretty much. One person, B, commented, if $100,000 is average, then I live in poverty. I think a lot of people could probably agree that if you're earning less than 100,000, which is the average, then you're going to be really
struggling. Yeah, like there's no way about it. Like myself, I lived on my own a few years ago and I was fine. I paid all my bills myself and I was not earning that amount of money. Now, that'd be terrifying. I think it'd be terrifying to have to go and live on your own with the price of rent, food, fuel, the list goes on. So
yeah, I think it's pretty scary, the climate and where things are going now. But let's see what $150,000 is like.
If you're living on less than $150,000 per year right now, I want to know how. And this is actually a genuine question. I'm so serious because I just went to the supermarket to get dinner. I'll show you what I got. It is literally all dinner stuff. It cost me $51 and I already had some of the ingredients at home. To be fair, yes, I got some yogurt and yes, I got some butter, but I mean, it's not luxuries. That right there cost me $51.60. I think this just proves that $150K a year is now what used to be $50K a year. All the time you have your rent and your mortgage, your food bill, your petrol bill, your insurances, kids' school fees, sports fees, whatever they do. Like it is actually really adds up really quickly.
$150K a year. So this lady, I mean, this was a year ago. So I think, again, a lot has changed since then in terms of prices, but still, it's giving you an understanding of how much a few items, that's like one bag of shopping, $51, doesn't go very far. If you've got kids, she's going on about all that. So basically, she's finding it tough and you need to be earning, I'd say at least $150K to survive on your own or have double income.
I'd say more, to be honest. I'd
Yeah.
say 200,000 plus on a double income is pretty much what you need to survive.
Yeah, and that's to live comfortable where you can eat, sleep in a comfortable home.
Yeah, with comfort.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think 200,000 a year is enough to live comfortably.
You can get a holiday.
So you can go on a holiday. Certainly, you won't be flush. You won't be living it up, but you're able to maybe have a holiday a year.
Buy some new clothes.
Keep the aircon on all summer.
Yeah.
Keep the heater on, but that's about it, really.
Which are now luxuries in life for a lot of people. So
basic comfort is now a luxury. I mean, we didn't have it back in the day, certainly didn't, but we do now, and we should be able to live comfortably.
So let's have a look at what people thought about that video. So one user commented, named Seriously Social, "We grow all of our fruit and veg, hunt for deer and pig, and freeze the meat and have chickens for eggs. Also buy half a beast every year. Supermarket is just for toiletries and wine." Well,
All right. So basically, your answer to the cost of living crisis is to go back to the medieval times. Who? I mean, how many people have enough space in a freezer to put half a beast?
half a
Please,
beast.
what?
What beast?
How is that an answer to the cost of living crisis? If you live like that, power to you. You have the ability to. Obviously, you have the land and the access to be able to go out and hunt. Plus, the freezer space to have a half a beast.
And
Which-
you know what you're doing hunting as
On
well.
top of that, getting half a beast, you've then got to pay for the freezer. You're going to pay for the power that's going into that, which power is going through the roof. Like, it's just crazy to me. Like,
I think there's some good points from that. Growing your own fruit and veg is becoming a real popular thing to do, and people are getting veggie
yeah,
cards.
I agree. I don't think that this is a bad thing. Like, they're living a good life.
I think it's unrealistic for most people. Most people, if you're working a 9 to 5 or a shift worker, you've got kids, you ain't hunting for deer. Like you ain't hunting for pigs.
Have you seen the housing estates? Have you seen the housing estates? The only thing that you're going to be hunting is a cockroach. That's about it.
But yeah, so anyway, another user commented, this was Cowboy. "Buy some seeds, grow some food, buy some land, buy a container home, set up solar batteries, wake the fuck up, stop complaining and get your life back on track. Stop adding to the bullshit what's going on."
Okay, so his answer to that is debt, debt, debt. Wait 6 months for seeds to grow. Wake up. Okay, so get yourself into debt. Starve almost to death for 6 months.
While you wait for your seeds to
While you wait for your seeds to grow, hopefully you don't have a drought. Hopefully you don't have a fire. Hopefully you don't have a flood.
It's Australia, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's Australia. The weather can change in an instant.
Look, he has some great points. Like he's telling you, go off grid. Survive off your own.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Like-
I think anyone that has the ability to survive off the land, power to them.
Like he's got some good points, but the main point is he's missing the point.
Basically, their answer to struggling to survive is like telling a homeless person, just buy a house.
Yeah, it's unrealistic again. This is our tips. So our tips would be, if you want to bulk buy and try and save some money, go Costco once a month or once every 2 months. Do a big shop, buy things in bulk, like large amounts.
We are not advocating Costco.
All right, we're going to show you a video from a guy that is known as Rant Man. Let's have a listen.
Australia is the luckiest country in the world unless you want to buy a home. You'll pay one of the highest prices there is in the world. Australia is the lucky country, or the luckiest country in the world, unless you want to rent a home. Australia is the luckiest country in the world unless you wish to rent a home and at the same time save to buy a home, because somehow when you're paying $850 a week in rent, it seems to be difficult to save a couple of $100,000 just to get that 20% deposit per home. So anyway, Australia is the most luckiest country in the world until you open your electricity bill. Australia is the luckiest country in the world unless you're a farmer and you get diddly shit for your farming products, because we allow the importation of products from overseas that undercut our farmers.
Yeah, so obviously his feelings are that everyone's feeling the struggle, especially like farmers. They're feeling it as well. I mean, they're the backbone of our society. They're growing, they're producing, and they're the ones that are giving us our groceries, and they're struggling too. Yeah, let's move on to someone who doesn't believe that there is a cost of living crisis, who, well, counter argues against cost of living even existing.
Either I'm completely out of touch with what the average Australian is doing, or I'm just an idiot and I'm just going to say this how it is. I don't believe that there's a cost of living crisis. I think that there is a spending crisis, that we don't know how to control our money, and we blow money up the wall. We spend it on shit we don't need, to impress people we don't like, to do things we don't value. Like we go out for dinner 4 times a week and then we're like, oh, I've got no money left. No, you did, because you've spent money where you didn't value it. If you cut that back to once a week and you spend time with your family or on your own or your partner, whatever you do, and you go out once a week, then you'll value that. If you stop buying lunch every day, if you eat what's in your home, if you buy minimal things, if you can still cook great meals, have leftover, take it for lunch. The problem is you're spending too much money, and that's the reality. Don't go complaining. No one's going to save you. No one's going to come and fix this crisis. The only person that can fix the money that comes in and out of your household is you. And whether you like that or not, that is the reality. And it's very, very in your face, but that's how I am. And you need to understand that sometimes you're going to be punched in the face to realize, fucking, what am I doing with my money? And this is one of those moments. So I'm just sick of tired of people complaining about that I don't have any money and everything's more expensive. Well, fucking fix it. Do something about it. Get a second job. Ask for a pay rise. Start a new business. Sell it in your house. There are ways that you can make more money. The fact is you're choosing not to.
Yeah, so I don't know anyone that goes out and eats out 4 times a week. Like, that is just preposterous. But yeah, I mean, whoever he knows. And
I'd say, look, there is some things I agree with. I'm going to back him up on some things. There is a spending crisis as well, because you've got things like Temu, Shein, Amazon, all these places that are constantly consumerism. It's a whole other video, which we're going to do a video on consumerism anyway. So we'll leave that for that. But people are buying stuff all the time, and probably things that they don't need. And they are spending more money than they actually need to. And maybe he has got a point there.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Especially in today's climate, it is easier than ever to buy things that you really don't need or
Yeah.
spend money on.
And then you got things like Afterpay, ZipPay, all those services that are giving you the money up front so you can have everything that you desire. So he's got a point there. But one thing I don't agree is that he's saying there's no cost of living crisis when there's tent cities down the road from where we live with people living in their cars that all have full-time jobs but can't afford a rental. So, but let's look at some comments. So we've got one user, Lauren Senna. Yes, you are out of touch. The statistics are incredibly black and white. Just because it's not affecting you doesn't mean it hasn't happened. The middle class has been screwed by record levels of inflation, coupled with record low wage growth. You can't ignore these. Look at another user.
So there is a cost of living crisis. Groceries, electricity, mortgages. Do you not pay these and see it? Now, he replied to this comment, and I'll read it and let you guys make up your own minds on it. It's not a crisis. Things have gone up. Do something about it and stop complaining.
Wow. The nerve.
So the nerve to reply to someone who is
Stating facts,
they're stating a fact. They're very well within their rights to be able to state things like electricity, power, water.
And also,
general.
he put himself out there saying
He's put himself out there. He's allowed
there's a
himself
cost of living crisis.
open to the public for people to come back and either agree with him or disagree with him. And he's just shut him down and just basically said, no.
So we discovered that this guy, so we found his profile and we was like, okay, what's this guy about? Is he living a flush life? He's a mortgage broker.
So he is somebody who wants you to live as frugal as possible so that you can go to people like him to get your home loan, which there's nothing wrong with that.
It's amazing.
At all.
Buy a house.
It's a good thing. Like, yeah, you're a mortgage broker. Great. But the reason why he wants you to live frugal is so that you can borrow money and he can be the broker for it and take a percentage of the money that you borrow. So he needs you to live frugal so he can make money off of you.
So explains everything. He doesn't want there to be a cost of living crisis. It affects his.
He wants people to believe that it's not real so that they'll go out and buy houses. Unfortunately, it is real because people are struggling and they're struggling to save for deposits. So he's in crisis mode, trying to save the day. see what the climate's going to be like for generations in the future.
Now, teenagers are being urged to start planning ahead. New data shows those graduating high school this year will have to save for around 21 years to afford a deposit on a home in Brisbane.
21 fucking years to save for a house. And some people seriously don't think that there's a fucking cost of living crisis in Australia. Anyone who is Australian and living in Australia right now can tell you how fucked our cost of living is. And those of the younger generation, like, genuinely, we are fucked. I mean, I'm 20 right now. It's going to take me till I'm 41 years old to save for a fucking deposit on a house in Brisbane. It's quite simply that the cost of living is really fucked and our wages are really shit. So realistically, if you aren't figuring out another better way to make money other than working your job and getting a wage, you're cooked. It's literally...
So there's been a couple of comments on this, and one of those comments is from Yaz. I'm 14. What on earth am I going to do? So that's a 14-year-old who is already worrying about the future. Now, there's another comment in here from Paige. I'm turning 14 soon, and I want to get a job as soon as possible, just so I can have a chance to live when I'm older. I should be focusing on being a teenager, school, and friends, but I'm forced to be worried about my future and working for money just so I can afford to live. It's disgusting. How sad is that? When you've got 14-year-olds,
She said she's turning
she's
14.
turning 14, where you got a 13-year-old girl who's turning 14 and another 14-year-old who are already at an age where they should be more just worrying about their friend groups and what they're doing, as Paige said. They should be out there worrying about school, playing with their friends, thinking about the weekend, thinking about their birthdays, thinking about Christmas, and they're sitting here worrying about
Cost of
the
living.
future, the cost of living, and what they're going to do.
When I was 14, the last thing, I mean, I always wanted money to go to the shops and buy, lollies and treats and things, but I wasn't worrying about buying a house or, how I'm going to survive. That shouldn't be
No, that should,
on
that
a
definitely
child.
should be not on a child's mind. They do not need that stress on their mind. They should be worrying about being a child rather than growing up too quickly.
So we're going to move on now into more like the motivation. Like, what's the motivation for younger people and the younger generation to want to work hard like all the generations have and buy houses and build, some wealth? Where's the motivation? Let's take a look at this young Australian.
Is anyone else in Australia kind of like, what's the point? If you're maybe like in your 20s, your 30s, and you're not being given things by your parents, and you've gone to uni, finished school, gone to uni, got a degree, which is meant to get you a good job, and that job is meant to pay for a house and maybe a holiday once a year, and maybe you'd have some kids, and that's like not happening now, and you're kind of just like, what's the actual point of anything? Like, I'm 28 and I kind of thought by now, like, I might have like a 3-bedroom house, maybe like thinking about kids, maybe successful in my career. The screaming you can hear behind me is my landlord's fucking grandkids, because my landlords live right behind me and I live in a tiny fuck-ass studio. And no, I don't live in Melbourne or Sydney. I moved regional to try and save money, and there's no jobs out here. Anyway, it's kind of just made me reassess my whole life. Like, what am I doing? Should I just go traveling? Is the world going to blow up in like 10 years and none of it matters anyway? Like, what's the general attitude? Because I'm a pretty like A-type person, like to plan everything. I'm just kind of feeling like, fuck it. Like, should I just do what makes me happy? Like, I don't know. Like, what are you guys doing? What are we doing?
You know what? Yeah, go traveling. Go do it. Because I know what I did at 28.
It's what can you say, really? Like, when you're struggling that bad to get by, you should be able to just go enjoy your life, do what you got to do, go out there, experience the world.
Yeah, she's 28. She's done everything she can. She's gone to uni. She's moved regional to save money. She is now living in a landlord's backyard, pretty much. Like, she's living on his doorstep. And she's living in the middle of nowhere where there's no opportunities. And now she's questioning what she's doing with her life. Can you blame her? Can you blame her for thinking Australia is broken when that is literally what is going on now? So let's take a look at a couple of comments on that video. So one is Gen X Street Light Kid said, uni is the biggest lie young people have ever been sold.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Uh, what opportunities are there right now? There's next to none. Most of the degrees that you can go to uni to get are pretty useless here, to be honest. I mean,
Unless you're in a medical.
unless you're in a medical, like
Yeah.
we need doctors, we need nurses, we need medical.
Public service.
Yeah, we need public service. So
Pretty important, but I wouldn't say it's pointless going to uni. What I'd say is, what's the motivation to go? Because it takes so long to get qualified, and then you get qualified, and then you've got all this student debt, which is constantly going up. Back, before you could go to uni for a low cost. Now you're paying off debt for years. On top of that, you've got cost of living, inflation, house prices ridiculous through the roof. People are just thinking, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be part of that shit show. Can you blame them?
I think the other thing that I tend to believe is that kids are coming straight out of high school in Queensland, 17 years of age, and straight into university to do something that they think they want to do. They're not 100% sure. We all know what kids are like. They change their minds like they change their clothes. So you go in there, you think you're doing what you want to do. 2, 3, 4 years in, you might not have that passion anymore. So you should be able to, this is where I believe she should have gone to travel first. Go travel the world first.
Yeah.
Get some life experience, then figure out what you want to do.
That sounds.
That's a whole different argument.
Let's look at one more comment on that video. So Artemis said, in my 30s, I'm the highest paid person in my extended family, minimal debt, insecure employment, and it's miserable. Still can't buy a house, local or regional. So we're using money to travel and see the world. Definitely a fuck it attitude. Yeah. Go Artemis.
Yeah, why not? Live your life to the fullest, because if you can't go out and do what you want to do here and live the Australian dream, go travel. If you're not going to go to university, what's your other options? For a lot of people, it's getting a trade. And that's something that nobody can take away from you. You get that trade, you've got it forever. And I mean, if you like working with your hands, you can. So let's see what it's like to be an apprentice in Australia today.
Australia just lost 50,000 apprentices. 50,000 gone. Absolutely gone. What's happened? Let me unpack that for you. Watch this. I'm going to make 50,000 jobs just disappear. The lucky country just got really unlucky. This 50,000 second and third years are the future of this country. They're the people that are going to build your homes in 5, 10 years from now. They're the people that are going to grow families in our community and be the backbone of our society. Australia has about 380,000 apprentices in total, and 50,000 of them quitting at second and third year is an absolute disaster. What's coming down the pipeline for us is going to be really grim because of this, but there's a couple of reasons why they've done that. Australia's become a really, really difficult place to live. Most of these kids, the guys and the girls, were on $15 to $20 an hour in second and third year, sometimes as much as 25, depending on the trade that they're in. But they all know that the social contract between government and themselves has been completely broken. When the government brings in the fire hose and pumps in 800,000 people in a really short period of time, and you're a young apprentice or a tradie and you're trying to get ahead in life, but your rent's gone up by 30%, the cost of living's gone up by 20%, and real wages haven't kept up, not to mention the fact that 3,000 building companies have gone under around them, they're looking at this industry and going, why would I want to be a part of that? And it's not just because builders are greedy and they pay their apprentices bugger all, it's because the margins on a lot of this new building work is very, very skinny because of the rules and regulations that they have to maintain to keep the building industry going. It's very difficult to be a licensed builder in this country. I'm not just saying that to feather my own nest, because I was a carpenter apprentice once upon a time as well. My apprenticeship was the best thing I've ever done. That was the greatest of took me nearly 5 years of my life, but I got there, and it's something that I'm proud to say I'll always have. And that's 50,000 kids that won't have that now. It's time to stop pointing fingers. It's time to stop blaming the left of politics or the right of politics. This is a society problem. This is an all of us problem. We all played a part in this, and we've all got to play a part in trying to fix it up and rectify it as well. It's time to move on from the finger pointing and go, what is it that's going to help these kids get invested in our country? Well, I can tell you a couple of things that are making them get invested in this country. Number one, no tax on apprentices. No tax on apprentices. That's it. Drop taxation. They don't pay tax anymore until they complete their apprenticeship. 100% done. Finish it. Give them skin in the game. Give them enough money to live on. The fact that you're taxing apprentices is one of the most disgusting things I can possibly imagine. We would be able to recruit more of them and keep them if we could let them keep more of their money. Simple bloody solution, mate.
Yeah, so I agree with everything he said, every single thing, especially not taxing apprentices because they are living on the breadline and they are the future and the backbone of this country. One of the comments in here was by Dylan Oberon. Fourth year Sparky here on $20 an hour. Like fourth year, he is about to walk out fully signed off, fully qualified as a Sparky, earning $20 an hour. Yeah, his wage is going to go up, but by this point, assuming that he left school at 17, he's now 22 years of age.
21, 22.
21, 22 on $20 an hour. That is
Like,
insane.
who is going to stay working in any job for $20 an hour once they've surpassed the school level? Like, you can't. No one can afford to live on that.
How can you afford that? 22 on 20 an hour. That's insane. Another one of the comments was from Ryder. Third year Boilermaker here. I'm on $28 an hour, can barely live. Now, that's a bit better as a third year Boilermaker on $28 an hour, but that is still struggling.
In this climate, anything below 30, I think is
it's hard.
a struggle.
Again, remember these young kids out there, they are the future backbone. They're the ones that are going to be building their houses. They're going to be the ones that are doing a lot of the hard physical graft to keep this country turning, and they're struggling. Another comment here. Fourth year mechanic, $25 an hour. I fear for what my trade pay will be. Was this a waste of time? When you got a kid who's, again, sitting in his fourth year, he's about to be qualified, he's about to go out and be able to work as fully qualified tradie, and he's worried about the future already. It's just crazy. And they wonder why trades are a dying game in Australia right now, especially your building trades. Like, they are absolutely struggling. So I think if we were to cut the taxes on apprentices, I think that is the answer. That's the most logical thing I've heard from anyone. Yeah, and
if they were to cut those taxes and offer that as an incentive, they offer tool allowances and they offer these allowances to help support these tradies through their apprenticeship. That's great, but they need the outside support to survive. So they need the wealth they might not have a stable home. They might be house sharing or living with a partner. We don't know. So they need the money in their back pocket to survive. So you can do that by lowering their taxes or eliminating their taxes. I think it's a great incentive to get more kids.
I think they should definitely be supporting these people, and especially in the climate today. Like I said, there's a trade shortage right now. And we need more apprentices. We need them. So we should be doing whatever we can, including cutting their taxes so that they don't have to pay tax while they're apprentices to just get by. And that might be more of an incentive than anything else.
All right, let's have a look at the trade crisis then.
Australia's tradie shortage has gone from bad to worse, with a number of Aussies starting construction apprenticeships falling 22% in the past year. Less than 42,000 people began training across trades like bricklaying, carpentry and plumbing, down from 54,000 in the previous year, the alarming figure as the nation deals with the crippling housing crisis.
Australia is facing a tradie deficit with 27,000 less apprentices, trainees and non-trade labourers working in construction, electrical and automotive roles than in 2023. The construction sector is now calling on the Albanese government to extend their efforts beyond funneling $1.5 billion into fee-free TAFE courses. Non-trade workers like labourers and machine operators have dropped by 25,000 since 2023.
Yeah, so circling back to what I've already said, like, what can you do other than let them work tax-free to earn their money, to get, as Shallow Chal put it, some skin in the game so that we have a future in the trade industry?
So this whole conversation wasn't just about trades. It was about the motivation for young people to want to go out and work, earn a living, and be a part of this amazing country. And what have they got to motivate them? So going back on that, young people are now in a world of technology where they're seeing other opportunities to earn money. They're seeing, people that work in trades. Yeah, they might be doing okay financially, but they're not booming. And they're just thinking, I can save the aches and pains in my body. I don't have to set an alarm for a silly time. I don't have to sit in traffic, and I can work online from home and be a drop shipper, a YouTuber, content creator, digital marketer. There's all these opportunities out there now that are thrown in children's faces. And, I don't blame them for wanting to do that, because your lifestyle is way better.
Either, because they're seeing the generations that came before them. Like the tradies that are busted their bodies and they're absolutely broken, and they get up at the crack of dawn every day. And I mean, why would they want to follow in those footsteps when they're seeing
things like this? Let's show you an example of what people are seeing today is more incentivized for them.
What do you do and how much do you make?
I am a YouTuber, and I probably make around 200,000 a year.
Oh, wow. And what sort of videos do you make?
I make NBA basketball videos, so I'm basically a video editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Why did you decide to do that?
I just needed a hobby, essentially, when I was a bit younger.
How many subscribers do you have?
We have about 520,000 now.
Oh my gosh. What's like the biggest viral video that you've had?
There was a video that I did in 2016. I think it's at 13 million views now.
So do you get paid more if your videos do better?
Yeah, so you get paid off views. And obviously the more views you get, the more ads are shown on the videos. And you get paid for the ads. And then obviously there are sponsorships as well.
Do you know how much you've made from that one video?
100,000. Yeah, I'm not exactly
So
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to somebody wanting to do it?
I'd say don't let your inner critic tell you what to do, and just start.
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Wow. $200,000 a year. Obviously that's going to be more appealing to a young person.
Hey, you can't even be mad at that. You're like,
No.
okay, the dude is grafting, and like you said, he started as a hobby and he's turned it into a business. Good on him.
Yeah. And if young people are seeing that and they're thinking, you know what, I want to do that too, let them do it. And clearly carpentry, plumbing, bricklaying isn't a hobby. So they want to make more money, and they want to look after their bodies and their minds. I mean, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I feel like they take care of
And
themselves.
when they're seeing things like that, and he's earning 200,000 a year off of making videos, doing something he enjoys, he's got
Yeah.
plenty of time on his hands. Why wouldn't you? Especially when that could be the answer to not having to worry through a cost of living crisis by earning money, saving your body, doing something you enjoy, and just having fun.
All right, so that's it for today's video and today's topic. We want to know in the comments what you think about the cost of living. Like, what do you think needs to change for things to improve, or are we just doomed forever?
Or let us know if you don't think that there's a cost of living crisis. What do you think? Do you think that there is or there isn't? What are your arguments? Let us know. Are you guys struggling? Just, yeah, tell us, let us know so we can...
Can you tell us how much you're paying for cheese in all the country?
Yeah. How much is cheese where you are, be it in Australia or out of Australia?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, $10 is crazy, and I can't quite wrap my head around
All right.
$10.
We'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe.